Hi everyone, Anthony Cummins here. Okay, so let's talk about Ninpo, or Shinobi no Ho. However, before we get started, if you're interested in Eastern wisdom, Eastern philosophy, get yourself a copy of Yin Yang, the Ultimate Guide to Yin Yang. Loads of stuff in there about the East, Qi, directions, energy, the Tao, everything in there. So get yourself or order yourself a copy. It's out 2021 July. Okay, but do go and pre-order it if it's before that date, order it if it's after that date. Right, on the screen now there should be, whichever way, it always reverses it, there should be the kanji for Shinobi no Ho, or Ninpo. Now you may have heard this word before, you may have heard it a few times in different contexts, but I'm just going to go through the actual characters. Now whenever people are saying Ninpo or Shinobi no Ho, they are always referring to the top one, Shinobi ways. So they're thinking of the way of the shinobi. Okay, so this is every time it is found in historical documentation with a phonetic marker or a particle to divide them, then it is always pronounced Shinobi no Ho. So that makes us believe that it was never pronounced Ninpo, that it's always Shinobi no Ho. But that is one of those debatable things, because if it's not got a phonetic marker, if it's not got a particle divider, then it can be both. But in 100% of the cases where those things are, it's Shinobi no Ho. So there you go. Now there is another one. Now the other one is actually Shinobi treasures. Now this one is not so famous, but it is used in the Bansen Shukai, and which made it popular. Now you have to look at this in context. Basically, Fujibayashi is trying to make the shinobi sound mega cool. Don't get me wrong, they are cool, but Fujibayashi is doing his best to be like Shinobi no Ho. Oh, okay, treasures of the shinobi. So the first one, the ways of the shinobi. This way is not the same as the Tao. The Tao is a different way. This way is like rules, methods, things to do with. So karate do is a different one to Shinobi no Ho. It's not, you've got to divide them. A lot of people sometimes mix up this do and ho and try and, like, say, oh, it's this and it's that. So basically what's the difference between Shinobi no Jutsu, ninjutsu, and Shinobi no Ho, Ninpo? So actually not that much. Now the characters themselves are Chinese, so they're not Japanese, so you can't be like, oh, in Japan it's this. They're formed in China, they come to Japan, take on the same meaning, but of course have a little bit of a Japanese twist. Now jutsu means, by the way, I talk about this a lot more in the book Yin Yang, so if you want to know more about the jutsu kanji, get yourself a copy of my book Yin Yang. I promise you, it's all in there. So jutsu is, it starts in China with almost, not magical, but almost like specialization, a property of specialization to a magical level. So the idea that you have got skills, you are like down with the sickness, ooh, wah, ah, ah. You are proper, like name the song, obviously. So you have the skills. But Ho is almost like regulations, overview, orders, methods of, everything coming together. So it's a little bit, now mistakenly, it went round the sort of ninja community that Ninpo is higher than Shinobi no Jutsu. And that's not a mistake, but it's a little bit misleading. Ninjutsu is literally the skills of it. Ninpo is the idea of the overarching understanding of ninjutsu. They are not necessarily separate. You can interchange them depending on the author, but actually, if you're going to look at them as two separate things, then actually Shinobi no Ho, Ninpo, implies its entirety within the army, within context of Japanese society, within context of samurai warfare, with understanding it from a bird's eye view where you've got agents here and agents there, and they're all running together, and each of those agents is using Shinobi no Jutsu, the physical skills, the abilities to get the stuff done. But actually they are quite interchangeable. So yes, one is higher and one is lower, but actually they merge together. It's more like that. So actually you might find one one document only going Shinobi no Ho, Shinobi no Ho, another document Shinobi no Jutsu. But when taken broadly, with all of the manuals taken into context and consideration, you've got this. It's a little bit interconnected. Shinobi no Jutsu at this end, Shinobi no Ho at here, and you know, they come together. Now, very rare do you see Shinobi no Treasure. As I say, it's in the Bansen Shukai, but that's just Fujibayashi being cool, saying, hey, look at our Shinobi treasures, meaning the skills I have passed on in my cool book. Would you like to buy a copy? Sounds like me. And you can copy it out for £1,000. There you go. You know what I mean? That's how it used to be made in the mid to late 1600s, because nobody had any jobs. The wars had finished. There was too many warriors and not enough wars. So suddenly it was like, would you like to buy my skills? I will let you copy my manual out. I will give you a certificate. And it's the sort of birth of the, you know, the end of the Sengoku period and the beginning of the Edo period. Into it is the birth of the sort of, what's the word? The McDojo. You think that dojos are modern, they are not. Whether they have got good or bad skills back then, I'm not saying, but you definitely got the, you want this certificate? I'll write you a certificate. Next thing, people are framing it, putting it on walls and all that, and we end up with the McDojo. So it's not a modern thing, the McDojo. It goes quite far back. Right, okay, guys, there you go. So Shinobi no Jutsu, Shinobi no Ho, Ninpo, Shinobi Treasure, Shinobi Ways. What do you think to that? Put your questions down below. I hope you do get a copy of Yin Yang, or at least pre-order it, guys, because it really helps when you pre-order it, and especially if you want to know about the cool term Jutsu.